You want to be an interior designer without necessarily going to college. Let's talk about it as I deal with an allergic reaction to gluten because of a really stupid restaurant. In today's episode, we're talking about how to think outside the box, how to use standard opportunities to make something spectacular. So I pulled a bunch of pictures from Pinterest. We're going to look at how these designers used standard opportunities that could have been just generic or regular or nothing special, and created a whole design, a whole focal point off of something like this. And the reason this is important is because part of training your eye, the exercises we do on here, they're not just about learning to identify the specs or the specifications. If you don't know what that is, let me know in the comments. They're not just about being able to identify who the client is, describe the client. I haven't done one of those in a while. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a describe the client video. They're not just about color theory. They're not just about technical and space planning. And design is not just about creating pretty spaces. It's about creating end user experiences, environments, energy. So this is important because you're shifting energy completely. Sometimes things need to be just functional. But if you can train your brain to see something regular and come up with creative ways of how to make it different, unique, stand out, have an objective, that will set you aside. That will set you apart as a designer. So this is a beautiful example. It's also important to use these examples to know, I tell you, if you change anything in the specs of a room, it will change the room. Prime example. Imagine this were just brick, which by the way would also be beautiful. This could be such a basic home. This isn't basic. Immediately, you have a focal point. You have shifted the energy. You've shifted the color temperature. All it is thinking outside the box of something basic. In the comments, I want you to give me 3 different examples of how any other material choice would make this different. And this is not a good or a bad. It's learning to understand that your decisions matter as an interior designer. Give me 3 different materials that we could switch this to. Any kind of materials. And tell me why we might choose those materials. Let me know in the comments. And talk about thinking outside the box. Not only does this give architectural interest, artistic interest, but it also serves a functional purpose. You may not feel you have enough room for something without building out something that would jut out very strangely. But then you construct it in this way, and it's an artistic feature in the room that also gave you extra square footage to allow you to add a more comfortable or compliant bathroom. Think outside the box. I might just have a thing for fireplaces this week. Maybe it has something to do with how I'm feeling. I mean. Give me 3 materials of what we could change this to that would totally change the vibe of the room. As a matter of fact, I'm going to level this one up. In the comments, give me 3 things that you could change this to that would make this a much cooler room than it is right now. And then come back for part 2.